Hello and welcome to the SmartStream Sibos series, a series of 4 interviews with key staff members at SmartStream Technologies in their area of expertise. Now, today I'm joined by Victoria Harverson, Global Head of Business Development at SmartStream for SmartStream Air. Now, given Victoria's remit, we're naturally going to be focusing on AI or AI technology, that is artificial intelligence technology, and the extent to which SmartStream's entire product stable has been AI enabled and enhanced. So first up, welcome, Victoria. It's very good to see you again.
Hi, Victor. Nice to see you too.
Good. Okay. Victoria, let's start by looking at what I mentioned in the intro, the extent to which SmartStream has infused its entire product portfolio with AI technology. How is that strategy progressing? Because I know it was a really important strategy for the firm a number of years ago, and obviously it's an ongoing thing. And how does that align with the firm's managed services push? Because that's another kind of a key component of SmartStream's strategy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going really well. I would say our innovation lab, it's our incubation and our innovation function that serves the whole of SmartStream. And as we're a multi-product company, we're serving multiple different market segments. This function is extremely important and strategic for us as a firm. So to your question about AI in various products, AI is now in nearly all of our solutions and in the managed services team. So in managed services, it's really being used to create efficiency gains for customers. So these AI technologies should provide one person with the power of essentially 10 people doing the same task. So we want to offer the most cost-effective managed service outsourcing model when it comes to resource augmentation, essentially. So that's going very well. Mm-hmm. I would say that the thing we're really focusing on with the AI strategy across all the products is observational learning. It's one of our most exciting concepts. So with this type of learning, I think you have to consider how we most effectively learn as humans, and the key is sort of mimicking behavior. So an example of this is we don't really tend to read cookbooks anymore. We don't want to read steps and rules. We want to watch someone actually do the task. We want to watch them do the thing and then copy it. You'd probably watch a YouTube video today. And we call this type of technology affinity. This is the observational learning piece that applies that principle. Affinity learns patterns to sort of identify records that belong together, and it watches how the user behaves. So this is a really big part of our strategy. Affinity observes you. Once trained, it provides suggestions, and it builds up a confidence of the machine learning model. So just back to your question, AI is in all of our solutions. It's in managed services. The components that our data scientists built in Austria, in the labs, they're in most solutions, creating tangible value for the customers. And we can deliver them. We can deliver them as sort of plug-in out of the box, so you can get super fast ROI. And for certain banking clients, we may want to pre-configure the solution and involve data scientists for something maybe that's a bit more unique in terms of data scenarios. And I think lastly, it's worth mentioning what I look after, SmartStream Air. This is our most AI-centric product. All of our AI technology is in Air, and the feedback is that it's our the type of AI that our audiences and our customers are seeing hasn't been seen before, which is great. Quick onboarding, results, they're sort of speaking for themselves, so it's going very well.
Okay, well, let's stay with that, with Air for a moment, and specifically the AI functionality that is embedded within Air. What specifically does the AI functionality within Air allow users to do practically when it comes to reconciliations? Because that, reconciliations is that's a kind of a big area of expertise for the business. It has been for many decades now, or a number of decades. But Air kind of is a big step change, isn't it, with respect to allowing or improving efficiencies and massively reducing timeframes around getting results with respect to reconciling large disparate data sets, for example. So do you want to talk very briefly about how the AI functionality allows users to do what they wouldn't ordinarily on a practical level.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, this is one of the most interesting things, and we have, as you rightly say, built our reputation and a lot of the business on reconciliation starting out. So traditionally with a reconciliation solution, and with the data that you want to reconcile, you'll need to do some ETL and normalization, or at least you want to clean up some of the data before you reconcile. So we remove the need to do that with the AI reconciliation solution, which is the SmartStream Air platform. So you can simply kick off with about 10 different data sets or data sources if you need to, and that can be quite messy data. You don't need to do anything to it at all. You don't need to normalize it or clean it up. You can just upload it into Air straight away. And at this point, the user doesn't really even need to actually understand the data. You can hit Start Air, and our Lightning engine, which is the unsupervised AI learning technology, that kicks in at that moment. It looks at that messy data. So the Lightning AI is the matching engine in SmartStream Air. So it looks at your data, it generates matching rules fully autonomously. Like I said, we can take up to 10 messy data sets or data sources. And if you think about maybe taking 10 packs of playing cards, if you shake them out all over the floor, the AI will pick up what it believes those matching cards and those matching pairs should be. And this is really where unsupervised learning comes into play, and it presents what it did. It presents the logic of how it matched those cards or records to the end user, which is a really big part of this type of technology. This is where the UI is important. Our interface on SmartStream Air looks really good. It's very intuitive, and it shows you fully what Lightning actually did. And then you can just click, you can edit it, you can change it. It's super cool. So you can even hover over one of those records on one side, and the data on the other side on the opposing side will glow in real time to say, we believe if you're looking at that record, you may want to match it with this record. Yeah. So that's the first part that uses AI to make reconciliation something, a toddler could do, basically. And then the next part is observational learning, which I mentioned with Affinity. So with Affinity, we can let the AI auto match items, but then you get outstanding breaks, which is those records that are anomalies, breaks, deltas, and you may want to manually match those together. So Affinity observes you matching two items on the left with two items on the right, and it understands the more matching you do, and it will suggest more items to you. So Affinity will predict what record goes with what. And the other thing that is, Air is showing you the explanations on what basis did that AI, the Affinity AI, find the match records. It's very cool. It's very cool. And it's creating exponential efficiencies the more you use it.
Yeah. And I should imagine a big part of that as well is its ability to learn and to grow and become more intelligent with its experience, right? So it becomes more and more efficient. It becomes more and more adept at making the right recommendations, etc., and the right matches, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've only just scratched the surface with that, to be honest. We need to keep going.
Good. Okay, Victoria, you made a really interesting comment there about providing an explanation for what the AI actually did. So to what extent does SmartStream's AI technology allow users to understand how results were obtained and or calculated? In other words, to what extent is the AI functionality, is it kind of white box functionality as opposed to old school black box functionality that was just spewing out results without any kind of transparency into how those results were obtained?
Yeah, and it's a really good question. We are really leading the whole AI strategy with white box thinking, like you say. So with the Lightning engine, it's fully white box. Lightning generates raw logic, and then the user can always see the matching logic that the AI came up with, and the user needs to look at that and confirm it in order to move on to the next step. So that's very transparent. And with Affinity, Every match is a combination of things that the AI is looking for, and we show those explanations in some detail. We show the underlying, why did the AI give you this record, Mrs. User, to the end user. I think we're really proud of SmartStream Air, actually. Our head UX designer, she's just fantastic, and the way we are translating the user experience into a look and feel that works with this type of AI has been really exciting. So to make this work, this whole thing, to make AI work as a product, our customers do have to trust us. Major financial institutions, they have to be able to see, what did you do under the hood to give me that result in a way that they can easily understand? And we've definitely achieved that. The Air application makes everything easy and translatable for the user. The more information that the user has, the more they can make sense of what they're seeing and how the AI worked. So this is key to our success with the product. Our customers have to trust us, and they have to trust the AI we built. So just a little bit more on that. When Affinity finds matches, it shows in the UI what references or which amounts or days or text were different, and the users can hover over that actual attribute, and we highlight how the AI scores or rates that match using probability. It's saying, is the AI here 99% sure that it got it right, or is it 80% sure it got it right? And it will show you a sort of bar of color next to that record. So that's really cool. It looks so good. It's a shame I can't show you it, but we give you full transparency on whether the items will be auto matched or suggested for you to match, and we want it to be white box, as you say. We want the customer to trust. It's very important for us that confidence is grown and we get more and more user adoption. So all the explanations and the why did the system offer you this is there in the solution.
Good. Okay, a final question to you, Victoria, is let's look forward again on the AI front for SmartStream. Is there anything special planned for the foreseeable future with respect to the actual technology and also Air as well?
Yes, obviously I cannot disclose too much. But we have been working on a new look and feel for our AI reconciliation solution for the SmartStream Air platform in terms of exception management workflows. So by exception, many people listening to this will be familiar, but by exception, I mean, you find that break or error in the data and you need to resolve that by putting it through a workflow. So Alice has a dollar-yen position breaking on the trade date. She needs Mitsuna in Japan to work on it, etc., etc. And typically this is a long process. It's not too well automated. There's lots of manual human touch points. So we will be able to take the human interactions, follow what the user does. So you can quickly say, we saw this break before, this dollar-yen trade break. This is what Alice and Matsuma did with it. Do you want to do that again? And we've just applied the most amazing sort of UX design to that process, soon to be launched. And our roadmap for AI will be applying that type of artificial intelligence to those workflows next year. So I'm hoping, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very different to anything anyone has seen before and embedded with AI. So that's what we've got.
Good. Victoria, let's leave our conversation there. Thanks very much. I too am looking forward to seeing a little bit more about this new functionality and perhaps even playing with the platform and also the UI as well. It sounds all really cool, as you said. Good luck for the foreseeable future. I look forward to catching up with you at some point. I don't know whether it'll be in person, but if you are ever over from Singapore, it'll be good to catch up and find out what you guys are doing. But again, thank you very much indeed for your time. And I look forward to hearing more about SmartStream's AI initiative, but also specifically about Air as well.
Thank you so much, Victor. Thanks to catch up again.
Good. Cheers. Bye-bye.